You don't rise by waiting for the world to notice you. You rise the moment you decide you're done shrinking. If you're listening right now, maybe you're tired. Tired of being underestimated. Tired of carrying everyone's expectations while hiding your own. Tired of pretending that fine means fulfilled. Will distance themselves because they cannot manipulate what they cannot diminish. But that's the beauty of stepping into your truth. You lose nothing that was meant for you. There's a strange freedom in not needing to prove yourself anymore. You conserve energy, you conserve peace. You stop explaining your decisions to people who never supported your dreams in the first place. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You realize that every time you said yes when your spirit said no, you dimmed your own light. And every time you let someone treat you as though they were doing you a favor by allowing you near, you forgot that you were the blessing in the room. Women are conditioned to build their value outside in. Be liked, be chosen, be agreeable. But true worth comes from the inside out. It comes from knowing who you are, even when others don't see it yet. It comes from understanding that God didn't put breath in your lungs so someone else could edit your destiny. It comes from trusting that your existence alone is evidence of purpose. When you embrace that truth, you cannot be shaken. Not by opinions, not by rejection, not by doubt. Let me tell you something, rejection will happen. Doubt will surround you. People will question your ability, your choices, your right to dream big. But their questions are not your truth. Their doubts are not your limitation. Their voices cannot overpower your purpose unless you hand them the microphone. Your worth is a foundation that no one can crack unless you start believing the lies they project onto you. So claim your space without apology. Walk into every room with your head lifted, not because you are arrogant, but because you are aware of who designed you. When you know your worth, opportunities flow differently, relationships shift, standards rise, boundaries strengthen, and most importantly, you rise. You rise into the woman you were meant to be long before the world taught you how to doubt her. Because the moment you stop negotiating your worth, but you start living your truth, there's a dream in every woman's heart that refuses to die, no matter how many times life tries to bury it beneath responsibility, fear, or exhaustion. You know that dream, the one you think about when you can't sleep, the one that shows up uninvited when you're doing something ordinary, reminding you that you were never meant to live a life that feels like a compromise. But here's the truth. Most people never say out loud, a dream can be powerful, yes, but without a home, it withers. Without structure, it dissolves. Without discipline, it becomes a ghost that haunts you with what could have been. Hope is beautiful, but hope alone won't build the life you want. Hope is a spark, but a spark without wood, without oxygen, without intention, will never become fire. And too many of us, especially women, pray for a flame while giving our energy to everything except the thing we were created to burn for. We pour into everyone else. We show up for people who would never show up for us. We run households, we build careers, we heal others, we keep the world spinning, and then somehow we convince ourselves we have no time left for our own purpose, and slowly, silently, painfully, our dream becomes homeless. But dreams don't thrive in chaos. They thrive in commitment. They thrive in time carved out intentionally, even if the time is small at first. 10 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes before bed, 1 hour on the weekend. Dreams grow in the soil you protect. And if you protect everything else but your purpose, don't be surprised when you wake up one day and realize you've built a life that looks full on the outside but feels empty inside. I had to learn something the hard way. Your dream is not selfish. Your dream is an assignment, a calling, a responsibility. It was placed inside you for a reason. And if you don't honor it, it doesn't disappear. It lingers, waiting for you to remember who you said you wanted to be before the world told you to be practical. But practicality has never built anything legendary. Practicality didn't put humans on the moon. Practicality didn't break barriers. Practicality didn't change history. Purpose did, faith did, relentless discipline did. You don't need a perfect plan to start. You just need space, sacred space. A place in your schedule, your mind, your heart, where your dream gets priority instead of leftovers. Think of your dream like a child. It needs nurturing. It needs attention. It needs patience. You wouldn't leave a child alone for years and expect it to grow strong. And yet, we abandon our dreams for months, years, even decades, and then blame ourselves for not being good enough when they don't thrive. The problem isn't your ability. The problem is that your dream has never had a stable home, .br, and maybe nobody taught you how to build one. Maybe nobody modeled what it looks like to honor your purpose without guilt. Maybe you grew up watching women sacrifice themselves so completely that dreaming felt like a luxury rather than a necessity. But I'm telling you now, with my whole heart, your dream is not optional. It's oxygen. And the moment you start treating it like something sacred, something worth protecting, something that deserves structure and discipline, you will see it transform right before you. Because discipline is how dreams breathe. Routine is how they grow muscle. Consistency is how they become real. Every great thing ever built started with a woman or man who simply decided, my purpose deserves a place in my life. Not someday, not when everything settles, not when the world becomes easier, but now, in the middle of the chaos, in the middle of uncertainty, in the middle of imperfection. Your dream doesn't need a perfect environment. It just needs a committed one. A home where you show up even on the days you feel inadequate. A home where you take small steps even when big steps feel impossible. A home where you honor the gift God placed in you instead of abandoning it because you're tired of disappointing people with your boundaries. But make space, real space, protected space, because a dream without a home is just a wish. But a dream with discipline becomes destiny, and you, whether you know it yet or not, were born to live yours. There are moments in life when everything around you feels heavier than your own body can hold. Moments when your confidence cracks, when your plans dissolve, when the world feels like it's moving forward without you. And in those moments, people will tell you to stay strong, to push through, to keep going, as if strength is something you simply switch on. But real strength, the kind that carries you through storms, isn't born from willpower alone, it is born from faith. Faith is not blind optimism. Faith is not pretending everything is perfect. Faith is choosing to believe there is meaning in your journey, even when you can't see more than a few steps ahead. Faith is whispering, I trust, while your circumstances scream, be afraid. Faith is understanding that there is a timing greater than your own, a wisdom deeper than your own, a purpose that doesn't always reveal itself in convenient or comfortable ways. There were seasons when I felt swallowed by uncertainty, when every door I knocked on stayed shut, when people doubted my abilities, questioned my choices, and dismissed the dreams I held close. In those moments, talent wasn't enough, hard work wasn't enough, not even confidence was enough, because confidence wavers. Faith anchors. Faith steadies. Faith reminds you that you are not walking your path alone. You see, faith is the quiet strength behind every woman who refuses to give up. It's the unseen force that lifts you when your own hands can't carry the weight anymore. It's the voice inside that says, not yet. Don't stop. Something beautiful is being prepared for you. And even when you doubt that voice, it doesn't disappear. It waits, patiently, tenderly, firmly. I've learned that faith grows strongest in the dark. When everything falls apart, faith becomes the glue that holds your spirit together. When nothing goes according to plan, faith becomes the compass pointing you toward a purpose you cannot yet see. When you feel alone, faith becomes the reminder that you are guided, protected, and strengthened by something much bigger than your fear. But fear will visit you. It always does. Fear will whisper that you're behind in life, that you're not enough, that everyone else is succeeding faster than you. Fear will try to convince you that your future is uncertain and your dreams unrealistic. But fear is loud only when your faith is quiet. Strength in one and the other loses power. Faith doesn't mean you will never doubt. It means you refuse to let your doubt decide your destiny. It means you wake up each day choosing to trust that your steps are ordered, even when the map is blurry. It means believing that the delays are not denials, that the closed doors are protection, and that the waiting season is not wasted time, it's preparation. Every woman I've ever met who built something meaningful, something lasting, carried faith like armor, not because she had all the answers, but because she trusted there was purpose in her journey. She trusted that every setback was shaping her. She trusted that every challenge was strengthening her. She trusted that every path, even the painful ones, was leading her closer to who she was meant to become. Faith is your superpower because it changes the way you move. When you have faith, you don't chase validation, you move with conviction. When you have faith, you don't panic in uncertainty, you stay rooted in truth. When you have faith, you stop begging the world to choose you. You trust that what is meant for you will find you, not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. And even when life feels like it's falling apart, faith reminds you that sometimes things must break so you can rebuild stronger. Sometimes doors must close so you walk confidently into the ones prepared for you. Sometimes people must leave so you can grow without their shadows. Sometimes the storm comes not to destroy you, but to clear the path ahead. Hold your faith close, guard it, feed it, speak life into it. Because when everything else is shaken, your plans, your relationships, your expectations, faith will be the one thing that doesn't crumble. Faith will carry you farther than talent, farther than intelligence, farther than opportunity. Faith will make you unstoppable, because nothing is more powerful than a woman who believes she is guided, .dr and you are. More than you know, Bia. There comes a time in every woman's life when she realizes that access to her time, her energy, her kindness, her presence, is not something to be handed out freely. It is something precious, something rare, something sacred. But many of us learn this too late. For years we move through the world believing it is our responsibility to keep everyone comfortable, to be available whenever someone calls, to say yes even when our spirit is begging for space. We are raised to be accommodating, to avoid conflict, to smooth the edges of our voice so no one feels threatened, to make ourselves small enough that we don't take up too much emotional room. And slowly, without noticing, we begin to feel depleted, not because we don't love people, but because we have allowed everyone to withdraw from us while we make no deposits back into ourselves. There were seasons in my life when I mistook proximity for loyalty, when I believed that the people around me automatically had my best interest at heart, when I kept giving chance after chance, believing that my kindness could transform someone's intentions. And every time I ignored the quiet voice telling me that certain people didn't deserve that level of access, I paid for it with pieces of myself. Pieces I should never have handed away. Let me tell you something every woman must learn before she gives too much. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. Not everyone should know your weaknesses, your dreams, your fears, your hopes. Not everyone has earned the right to influence your decisions or occupy space in your heart. Some people come into your life with open hands, ready to build with you, and some come with empty hands, ready to take, and it is your responsibility, not theirs, to recognize the difference. You can be kind without being used, you can be generous without being drained, you can be loving without sacrificing your boundaries. This is not selfishness, this is stewardship of your spirit. Protecting your peace is not something you do out of anger, it is something you do out of wisdom. There were moments when I felt guilty for pulling away from people who had grown comfortable feeding off my energy. Guilt can be loud, especially for women. We're conditioned to feel responsible for everyone's emotions, even when they have caused our pain. But I learned that guilt is not always a sign you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it's a sign you're breaking a pattern. And patterns, especially unhealthy ones, fight for survival. One day, I realized something powerful. Every time you say yes to someone who drains you, you are saying no to the woman you're becoming. And she deserves more from you. She deserves your strength, your clarity, your intention, your emotional resources. You cannot become her while entertaining people who prefer the weaker, uncertain version of you. Some people loved you most when you were broken because brokenness made you easier to control. The moment you start healing, those same people will accuse you of changing. And they're right. You are changing. You should be. Your circle should evolve as your spirit evolves. The people who walk with you toward purpose will never ask you to shrink. They won't guilt you for growing. They won't disrespect your time, manipulate your kindness, or drain your joy. They will water you, hold you, celebrate you, challenge you. They will honor the privilege of having access to you. But before those people can find their place in your life, you must make space. And making space often means removing the ones who don't belong, the ones who only show up when they need something, the ones who disappear when you need support, the ones who belittle your dreams because your growth exposes their own stagnation, the ones who question your boundaries instead of respecting them. You don't need to explain yourself to them. You don't owe them closure. Peace is explanation enough. But choosing who can enter your life is an act of self-love. It is a declaration that your heart, your energy, and your presence are not open territories for anyone to occupy. They are sacred territories, and only those who treat them with care should be allowed to stay. So learn this deeply. Your energy is currency. Spend it wisely, invest it intentionally, guard it fiercely. Because when you stop giving access to those who don't deserve it, something incredible happens. You finally have room for the people who do. There are chapters in life that feel too heavy to hold, too painful to revisit, too dark to explain. Every woman carries wounds the world will never see. Silent heartbreaks, quiet disappointments, bruises that never made it to the surface but changed something deep inside. And we are taught from a young age to hide our pain, to smile through the storm, to pretend we're fine because the world applauds strength but misunderstands struggle. But here's the truth I learned slowly, painfully, and honestly. Your pain is not your prison. Your pain is your teacher. There was a time when I believed that the hurts I carried were evidence that I was failing. If someone betrayed me, I thought I must have trusted wrong. If an opportunity collapsed, I assumed I wasn't good enough. If life broke my heart, I blamed myself for not being stronger. But what I didn't understand then is something I know deeply. Now, pain is not punishment. Pain is instruction. Pain shapes you in ways comfort never could. Pa, think about it. Every meaningful evolution in your life came after something shook you. Something forced you to question who you were becoming. Something made you confront the parts of yourself you had ignored. Pain pushes you out of places you've outgrown. Pain forces you to grow roots where you only wanted wings. Pain teaches you resilience, empathy, clarity, boundaries, gratitude. Pain makes you wiser. It makes you sharper. It makes you softer in all the right places and tougher in all the others. But when the pain first arrives, it never feels like a teacher. It feels like a storm, a collapse, a loss of orientation. It feels like God went silent just when you needed Him most. It feels unfair. It feels deeply personal. And in those moments, it's easy to believe you're alone. But you're not. You were never alone. You just couldn't see that the breaking was creating space for rebuilding. Sometimes pain strips away what you thought you wanted, so you can discover what you truly need. Sometimes it takes away people who were never meant to walk with you into the next season. Sometimes it removes comfort so you finally step into purpose. Sometimes pain is the only thing strong enough to push you into the woman you are destined to become. I've looked back on the hardest seasons of my life, times when I was abandoned, doubted, underestimated, and realized they were the moments that built my backbone. Not the glamorous moments, not the celebrated ones. The problem was the world's discomfort with women who know who they are. Let me tell you something honest and raw. The world benefits from your silence. Systems, structures, expectations, they are all easier to maintain when you stay quiet. But your purpose, your growth, your destiny, they all require your voice. They require you to speak even when your voice shakes. They require you to name what hurts, what matters, what you want. They require you to stop shrinking, stop apologizing, stop explaining your existence. Your voice carries weight, not because you are perfect, but because you are real, because your experiences have shaped you into someone with perspective, wisdom, intuition, and truth. Because your story has chapters that others need to hear. Because your words can shift atmospheres. Because your courage can inspire someone who doesn't even know your name yet. I've seen rooms change the moment a woman decides she will no longer be invisible. She sits taller, she speaks clearer. She no longer asks if she belongs, she claims her place. And the energy of the entire room adjusts. Not because she is loud, but because she is present. You don't need to shout to be powerful. You don't need aggression to be heard. You just need authenticity. You need alignment between your heart and your words. You need the courage to express yourself without diluting your truth for someone else's comfort. Bye, some people won't like it. Let them leave. Ba. Some people will misunderstand it. Let them learn. Ba, some people will fear it. Let them face themselves. Your voice is not for everyone. Your truth is not meant to fit every ear. Your journey is not meant to be approved by every person watching from the sidelines. Speak anyway. And understand this deeply. Using your voice is not just about self-expression. It is about self-respect. When you speak up for yourself, you tell the world what you will and will not tolerate. You teach people how to treat you. You set the tone for every relationship, professional, personal, spiritual. Boundaries spoken clearly build peace. Silence builds resentment. There will be moments when speaking up feels risky, when the room is full of doubt or judgment or power structures designed to mute you. And in those moments, your voice becomes even more important. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. Your strength grows every time you choose truth over comfort. Every time you speak, even though silence would be easier. Every time you refuse to betray yourself to keep someone else satisfied. But you were not created to be invisible. You were not designed to be quiet when something inside you is calling to be heard. Whether your voice is soft or strong, gentle or fiery, calm or fierce, use it. Use it in rooms that try to silence you. Use it in conversations that matter. Use it to protect your dreams, your boundaries, your worth, your future. Your voice can open doors. But your voice can break cycles. Your voice can heal wounds. Your voice can move nations, families, communities, and most importantly, your own heart. And once you experience the power of speaking your truth, you will never go back to whispering. There comes a point in every woman's journey when she realizes that the future she wants will not come to her dressed in comfort. It will not arrive gently. It will not wait patiently at her doorstep. The future you dream of, the one that pulls at your spirit in quiet moments, the one you imagine when no one is watching, that future requires a version of you that is braver than the woman you've been so far. That growth is not accidental. Transformation is not convenient. Becoming the woman you're meant to be requires shedding versions of yourself that once felt safe. And that is never easy. Because old versions of you are familiar. They fit like broken-in shoes. They may not support you anymore, but they're comfortable. And comfort will whisper to you, stay where you are. Don't risk the unknown. Don't outgrow the life you built. But if you listen closely, your spirit whispers something louder. Move, evolve, step forward. And that whisper, gentle, persistent, divine, is the calling that leads you toward your future. I've had seasons when I held on to old identities, old habits, old fears because I was terrified of who I might become if I let them go. I worried about disappointing people. I worried about failing. I worried about stepping into rooms where I wasn't sure I belonged. And every time I let fear guide me, I shrank. I played small. I stood on the edge of my own potential, too afraid to jump, But nothing grows on the edge. Growth lives in the leap. You cannot walk boldly into your next chapter while dragging the weight of your last one. You cannot become the woman you're destined to be while protecting the insecurities of the woman you used to be. You cannot rise while holding on to the people, habits, or beliefs that keep you grounded in self-doubt. To step into your future, you must allow something inside you to die. The fear that tells you you're not ready, the shame that tells you you're not worthy, the hesitancy that tells you you're not enough. These voices are not truths. They are remnants of who you were before you knew your own power. And letting go of them isn't betrayal. It's liberation. You see, the future demands a woman who is courageous enough to take up space, a woman who speaks even when her voice trembles, a woman who chooses purpose over approval, a woman who trusts the path even when she can't predict the outcome, a woman who is driven by faith, not fear, a woman who understands that everything she has survived was not meant to break her, but to prepare her. Sometimes the courage you need won't come from confidence. It will come from exhaustion, from being tired of settling, from being tired of living small, from being tired of dimming your own light because someone else is threatened by your brightness. Sometimes courage comes the moment you realize that staying the same is more painful than changing, and when that moment comes, your life begins to shift. But you start waking up with clarity. You start making decisions that align with your spirit, not your fears. You start choosing people who choose you. You start chasing dreams that once scared you. You start believing, truly believing, that you are worthy of the life you've been afraid to imagine. That is the version of you the future requires. Bar the woman who trusts herself. Bar the woman who honors her calling. The woman who rises even when she doesn't feel ready. Bar the woman who steps into rooms with grace and conviction. The woman who understands that bravery is not loud, it's consistent. But bravery is built in the quiet choices you make every day. Waking up and trying again. Showing up even when yesterday broke you. Speaking truth even when silence feels safer. Taking steps even when the path is unclear. Believing in tomorrow even when today feels heavy. And here's the miracle in all of this. The moment you choose bravery over familiarity, life responds. Doors open, opportunities appear, the right people gravitate toward you, the wrong ones fall away. You become aligned with something greater than yourself, a divine unfolding that was waiting for your yes. So step into your future with courage, not because you have everything figured out, but because you finally trust the woman you are becoming. Before you step back into your world, carry this truth with you, but you are not created to move through life quietly. You are not designed to shrink so others could feel tall. You were placed here on this earth in this moment for a purpose bigger than your fear, stronger than your doubt, and far more powerful than any obstacle in your way. But your journey is guided, your path is prepared, your steps are not random, they are intentional. And every challenge you've survived was shaping you for the calling you're about to walk into. Tabia. So step forward with faith. Move with conviction. Trust the timing, even when you don't understand it. Trust the strength within you, even when you feel tired. And trust that the one who brought you this far didn't bring you here to leave you. Your life is not waiting to happen. It's waiting for you to claim it. Dream boldly, love deeply, stand firmly. Rise fearlessly. Be God, because the world doesn't need a quieter version of you. The world needs the woman you were always meant to become. And if you ever forget how powerful you are, just remember this, you are held. You are guided. You are chosen. And your time is now.